and Uganda. Group D, Senegal over DR Congo, Benin, and then Botswana. And then Group E, we had Algeria winning over Burkina Faso, Sudan, and then Equatorial Guinea finishing last. And then Group F, we had Cote d'Ivoire topping their group over Cameroon and Mozambique, with Gabon finishing in last. And there's so many things we can look at from that, but the round 16 looks good. You mentioned the games. For you overall, do you feel like the games lived up to the billing when it came to the group stage here for AFCON? Because for me, I think I got my money's worth in every match, save for two, save for two matches. What about you, JD?
Totally agree. I would say that I got my money's worth just the same. I exactly what I expected. Yes, I could say that some of the teams slightly disappoint me, like Gabon and stuff, because
Mm,
I expected for a Aubameyang centre half they would have tried to go a little bit more extensive and stuff. But I thought that the tournament was is good. A lot of teams that I expected to do incredible things, they have turned up to do exactly what I expected. But some fell off. So once you go through group by group,
mhm.
we're going to be discussing who I thought fell off and who I do believe that can even push a little bit extra and cause some problems.
Indeed, indeed. So let's start with the groups. Let's start with Group A. We have the host, Morocco over Mali, Comoros, and Zambia. First, you have our predictions on hand with you, correct? Because I know
Mm-hmm.
some things I am fine being right with, and I've already apologized for my mistakes. So let me leave me alone. But how did we have this group predicted before the competition started?
All right, so Morocco, we expected Morocco to do their job because definitely we can say maybe they fault a few times in the Afghan. But
Mhm,
if you look at them, you would say that Morocco is definitely one of the best teams in Africa, if not the flat out best team. So we
mhm,
expected them to be number one and in this group. And we expected Mali and Comoros to cause problems, but we expected Zambia to be in that conversation. And to be honest, we were spot on in this group. We were actually
mhm,
spot on because we were fighting Mali. You gave a good speech on Mali, so I want to give you more credit for this one, for the second position, because you did
mhm,
talk highly of Mali, and I was saying that maybe you never may know Comoros, Zambia might cause a little spoil, but Comoros, big up to them, and they deserve to be where they are and their upcoming team. So big up to them.
mhm. I think that's a fair point. I think when you look at the games, I think again Morocco did what any host is supposed to do. They came in, gave their fans a show. First game ended very positively for them. The Mali game that they played, I think that one was interesting. Maybe that might be a warning for things that might be the things that will unravel them later on in terms of the physicality that Mali brought to them and just the high intensity of the pressing that they put onto them. But I think Morocco performed as they should have. Again, atop the group, the draw versus Mali, I think was a fair result for how that game was played. I think Mali certainly held themselves well in that second game. Comoros and Zambia, I watched when they played each other. I said, okay, great. One of these guys is going to get 3 points. It'll be a good game. I can't get those 2 hours back of my life, JD. I cannot. Um,
So that's one of your games that you are saying that wasn't really up to
I, I
the par.
I would like a return of my investment on that game. That game to give you the full
Yeah.
contents. We I watched it with the family. It was a family affair, right? We all went and we're like, you know what? We visited an uncle. We sat down and we watched it. We're like, okay, good. And by about 40 minutes, half of the people were just cheering 17 passes as a goal. It was a struggle to watch in some cases. But hey, like you said, there are teams that are improving. Comoros during World Cup qualifying finished second in their group, so it's not as if this is the end for Comoros. And Zambia performed well with what they were doing. It's just interesting if you just look at the group and say, okay, so Mali finishes in second with 3 draws. Hey, I'm not mad at it. They didn't lose. Hey, this is New Zealand 2006 or 2010 at the World Cup where they draw their game. They don't lose the game, but they don't move on, which is odd. But that's what you have to do in tournament football: get results, move on. Looking at the matchups really quickly, just to show them so we can talk about it. Any games in this group kind of stand out to you? There's the first day of match play. You had Zambia coming back at the death to level and get a draw of that game. Second game, you have penalties on both sides for Morocco versus Mali, and then Morocco finishing the job versus Zambia, and then Comoros and Mali drawing there. Any standout game in this group for you? For me, it's the Morocco Mali matchup.
Yeah,
Um, yeah.
that's what I was going to point on. I think it's
Mhm.
more clearly because that was the game me and you looked at to say that, oh, this is going to determine how Mali's fate is, not necessarily anyone else. So the
Mhm.
fact that Mali came out and did a number on Morocco to make it as physical as possible, because once Morocco is the most technical team in Africa, I think it's not even close.
Mhm.
So if you allow them to play their football with their quality, which is not close either, because we need to start give this team credit. They have a
Mhm.
second and a third string team, that can pretty much beat anyone or compete with anyone, which is incredible. So the way they are developing football in their country, I got to say that I'm impressed. So the fact that Mali figured out, listen to me, we are not going to make them comfortable at no point. We are
Mhm.
going to go in their faces, be as physical as possible. Yes, we are going to ride our luck a little, because that is essential towards getting the game plan going. So we're going to ride our luck for the first 30 minutes. And after that, they are going to start making sure they don't take any additional gamble. So maybe, are we saying that Mali figured out a way that others could use as a blueprint to get something against them? I am not sure, because maybe you have to ride your luck for 30 minutes and you might be
Mhm.
down 3-0 after 30 minutes. But tell you what, you're going to lose the match regardless. So maybe it's a step that you can take. So
Mhm. It
Mali did something that I never expected. So big ups to
yeah.
Mali.
No, and I think it's a fair point to bring up. I think for me, when I look at the matchup, I think is this like you said, is this maybe some blueprints to how you can make them uncomfortable, right? Because in this game, it was a tale of two halves, right? In the first half, Morocco was certainly flying up and down the pitch, getting what they wanted. They get the penalty at the end of the first half. We'll talk about what is a penalty at some point because at Afcon we still don't know.
We will
We
talk about
we
what is a
still
penalty.
don't know what is right. But I think you can't. There's some things you can take from it, but you need the personnel to do it, right? Not everyone has the personnel to run away, right? To use the basketball analogy, everybody wants to play like the Warriors, but not everyone has the Warriors players, right? Not everyone has a Steph Curry who's going to shoot threes to see what was going to come through. And so I think not everyone can press a team like Morocco like that and make them that uncomfortable. Now, granted, they're still missing Sayas, who went down at the beginning of the competition, and then Hakimi has just got back. So we'll see what the Hakimi Brahim Diaz partnership on the right looks like once they get to the round of 16. But if you want to play anti football, like Lamar Williams saying, sometimes it'll get you the results, and sometimes, I mean, Mali got 3 draws and made it in second in their group. And then Morocco played football and they ended up with 7 points. Not to say that Mali didn't play football, but your results will show in terms of what you've been able to do. And I think that goes through from there. So it'll be interesting to see once we get to the round 16 and those matchups, how that breaks through and what it looks like. Let's go to Group B here, right? We had Egypt, South Africa, Angola, and then Zimbabwe here. What did our predictions look beforehand? Because I feel like we both either had Egypt or South Africa kind of moving at the
Uh,
top of the group. What did we have?
yeah. I think this we are getting good. We are getting good on the prediction, aside from when feelings get involved. Yes. This was fantastic. We were arguing if Angola or Zimbabwe. Credit to you again when feeling is not involved. You talked highly of Angola and said that they're going to top Zimbabwe, because I was wondering if Zimbabwe would have actually gotten it. But we had Egypt at first, and then South Africa at second, because we knew that they were the two better teams. South Africa had the natural resources and the quality to them that they do put together at all competitions. And we need to start looking at South Africa as one of the most stable teams in Africa football. They don't rely on super talents, they rely on super smarts and technical ability. And I really love them extra. You know why? They are one of the more the blacker nations
Mm,
that actually puts football together, use football in education right throughout their football. So
mm,
people tell me that, oh, it's hard because we don't get the development. They are a testament to tell you that this thing, if you want to truly do it, and not rely on super over the top talent to get a 1-0 result against a team that is 65 million euros lower than you in quality. South Africa is the perfect example for that. It can be done. And it's story and fantasy people believe in. So, South Africa, congratulations to you. You keep on showcasing that you deserved your World Cup spot. You fully deserved your World Cup spot.
mm.
And you're playing some good football. So, that's what all I have to say. But Egypt, we know Egypt and Morocco. We know that they're technical team, less physical, and less quality than Morocco. But they are technical enough, and the lack of technical teams in Africa makes it easy for them to just steamroll everybody. And
Mm.
fully deserve Egypt again. Maybe in a week, in a stronger group, they might have struggled a lot more. But this group was kind of weaker. Angola and Zimbabwe didn't have much to give them, and based on just their technical ability, gets them over the line.
No, I think that's a fair assessment. South Africa is always one of the better examples of investments into your local league. So then using that to actually elevate, like you said, the football in the country overall. And I think that's always a great call out and a good shout out to them. So we'll never take that away, one of the top African leagues in the world, period. But yeah, I think sometimes I was talking to my best friend about this in this group, and the point that he always makes, and we agree on this, is you can have solid teams, but when you get to tournament football, sometimes it's the A level players that make the difference. Everything else can be equal, but if you have a Salah who's performing well, that puts you over the top. If you have a Omar Marmoush who's playing well, that puts you over the top. And yes, your team might be littered with solid players like a Foster or an Opolis. At the end of the day, if that talent is able to perform, they elevate an already solid group to a higher level. I mean, this game, I mean, what is the penalty is the Egypt South Africa game, very simply put, because we kept on having questions about what that could be. The Zimbabwe South Africa matchup always is going to be a tough one because, hey, that's a regional derby right there. So it doesn't matter. Once you play each other, everything goes out the window. You play well. But yeah, I think talent wise, Egypt was the more talented side. South Africa, though, got pushed by different levels. From an outside looking in, this was a fun group to watch because it seemed as if since World Cup draws, South Africans and Mexican fans have been going at it in terms of who is the easy side in the group, one way or the other. So it was fun for me to be able to be like, ooh, oh, let me see how this team plays. And again, within this competition, like we said, these 7 teams that are going to the World Cup, possibly 8, we get to use a different lens to evaluate them as they get ready, and get ready to go through and talk about how they're able to go. Yes, I know, John Jones. I know. Okay, we watched in the fans. Look, we watched from the stands, like regular fans. Okay, we were regular fans, but I enjoyed this group a lot more. I know the controversy of what is a penalty happened there, and I think it only really happens in the South Africa game if the first penalty was kind of soft, to be honest, JD. The this penalty that Salah gets was soft, and if they don't call that one, and then they don't call the second one, there's no controversy. There's no controversy in terms of what is a penalty, but because they give Salah that one, the other one is a cut and dry. Okay, his hand is on the ground as he's diving. And as watching defenders, I always side with the defenders in that case because you're sliding and you're bracing yourself. What are you supposed to do? Am I supposed to dive as if I'm being mummified and hope that everything goes well and then put away my player safety there? Or do I brace myself because that's what I would naturally think? But I think if they don't give Salah's penalty in that game, that penalty they don't give to South Africa isn't as big and isn't as egregious in that sense. For you, standout games in this group, what stood out? What was the game that you really enjoyed in this group?
For me, you just pointed out the calls, bad calls. I thought that the South Africa Egypt game was
Hmm.
very intense. South Africa matched not much overwhelmed them with physicality,
Hmm.
but also did apply technical ability. So I think it helps the game. Obviously, some little anger was there between both teams. I don't know where it's coming from, because I'm just a natural viewer. So I can understand where the referee made certain calls, because even before you had two tackles that I was saying those are strong yellow cards,
Hmm.
if not questioning other things, and he let it go. But that's how referee goes. Sometimes they make some bad calls, then or let some bad calls go, and then try to make up for those calls, and then ruin the game. And I do
Hmm.
believe that this was a game that could have done better. Should both of them should have scored more goals. Surprisingly, if any game that Egypt deserved to lose, would have been this game. I thought that South Africa was very good, and caused Egypt all sorts of problems. And it comes down to refereeing decisions,
Hmm.
to kind of tone down the game to benefit Egypt in a sense.
Mm.
Because those calls that make South Africa cannot exert their physicality anymore than what they were doing. Because remember, sometimes some teams are really technical, as you use the analogy with Steph Curry. Some teams are really technical. So even though
Yeah.
South Africa is better than all of the other nations that we're describing, they're still not better than the Morocco and the Egypts. So the physicality have to come in to kind of
Hmm.
bring the level playing field. But the referee never allowed it to extend to certain levels. So South Africa, it never really benefited them. But I still like what I saw from South Africa, to be honest. And in the end, Egypt took that one. But that's the game that I keyed in on, because I knew that would have been the deciding factor going forward.
Indeed, I think that is fair. Everyone who's coming in again, Happy New Year to you. Question is for Afghan: which teams impressed you? Which teams disappointed you? As we recap the
Ooh,
group stages, and then we get ready to go
go
into
ahead.
the
The
round of
team that
16.
impressed me will be shocking for Africans, but go ahead,
Oh,
go ahead.
oh, shocking! So
Well, let me
Gabon impressed
continue.
you.
Let me continue.
Mozambique impressed you.
Let me big up some people. I saw John
Yes.
Jones, Lamar, big up yourself, thanks for being here. El
Mhm.
Mexi in the house, Richard Green, happy new year to all of you lovely people. Yeah, man, we are going to be back with our streaming. I was just a little bit busy. Then we have David in the house, big up yourself, thanks for being here. And Sebastian,
Mhm.
happy new year. El
Yes.
Salvador in the building, Jamaica in the building, Africa in the building, England in the building in Lamar, but he's also Jamaican. Yeah, man, a Canadian in the building and a Belgian in the building. All right. So we are all global, Yes. So
Yes. We.
who impressed you guys the most? If you're watching on the upload or
Mhm.
live, get involved. Get the likes on the video. Double tap the screen if it's a small screens, and also click the like button if the normal screen, so we could get everyone here. Obviously, we have not streamed for the longest time, at least me.
Mhm.
So maybe I'm not in the algorithm so much. So get the likes up, get the comments and the engagement up. All right. Yeah, man. So
Indeed.
yes,
Indeed.
Africans. Let me continue. Let me continue. Or you
Yeah.
want me to give you who impressed me the most instant?
Oh no, no,
That
we'll,
wouldn't be
we'll
fair.
we'll go we'll go when we go through all the groups, because we have to give everyone their shine before we start talking about one side in particular, right?
Yes,
So,
yes,
some
yes,
teams
yes,
can
yes.
soar, other teams are just stars in their way, but we'll go from there. But Lamar Williams saying Morocco all the way. They have three playing styles we have to prepare for. All three in the game, they're tough to break down. Very true. I think that the Moroccan side has always been solid defensively. Now they have the offensive players that can play in a different way from there. Like you said, a blessing up everyone who was here as well. Appreciate everyone being here. Happy New Year to my Ghanaian family, who I know some of you are watching on Fish on Pod. To you, Happy New Year. All the fun, all the while. We get to Group C. That goes Nigeria, Tunisia, Tanzania, and Uganda. Congratulations to Tanzania, who drew two games but made the round of 16. Well done, team. Well done. Um,
Uganda is an embarrassment.
you listen, okay? And for those of you who haven't been around, look, I did a live stream with some other friends over the weekend, And I explained the logic because they were also shocked when they heard that I picked Uganda to finish top of the group. And listen, I explained to them my logic. But again, my apology to Nigeria is there. Okay, you have finally
Mm.
lived up to your billing a bit, but Nigeria tops this group. Tunisia finishes in second. There's also a game in this group that we say, what is a penalty? No one really knows. No one still knows. But this group
Okay.
going top heavy for you, that's not a surprise for you. It was a surprise for me. I thought one of those two top teams wasn't going to make it based off of I wasn't sure what their form was. Right.
Yes.
And that's the condensed version of
But
what I
Africans,
said.
you remember my prediction for this group very well.
Mm. Oh, I'll let you
So
talk.
I
Go on
you don't
stride,
even give me a
superstar.
chance to get in. You're trying to sideswipe because the beating will be coming for Nigeria. But I gave you a way out because I told you that yes, Nigeria have never performed ever, 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 ever. So with Nigeria never ever performs, including this as well, because none of their performances were actually top tier, to be honest. I think
Mm,
the group was so bad. Like Uganda was so bad, Tanzania was so bad, Nigeria got away with qualifying to the
mm,
next round. I am not impressed. Um, as much with Nigeria, but I'm loving that they're getting more game time so they can work on things to get to a level.
mm,
Because Nigeria wasn't one of the most impressive teams at all in this competition. If they were in other groups, i.e., South Africa and others, they ain't making it out.
mm,
Just like what we saw in the World Cup qualifiers. So Nigeria has the talent, but they need a lot of work to be done. And I think everybody that watches Nigeria would come to the same conclusion. They are glad that they made it through. They are getting wins, so the camaraderie is there and the fight is there,
mm,
especially against Tunisia. I like that. The fight is there, but I still believe that we expect is so much more from Nigeria to look like Morocco, to look like Egypt, to look like even South Africa at
mm,
this point. And they are not in that same category. It's sad, but they're not. And you know that they should be in that category. They
mm,
should be in that category because they have all the players to be as good as Morocco. But for some reason, they are just not looking that clean. They're Iwobi. Big up to Iwobi. Iwobi give me the game that I was waiting for from him.
mm,
You understand me? I knew that he had it in him. You understand me? Yes, I've been rooting for that kid long. And he finally gave me a game that I'm proud of. You understand me?
mm,
So we need that from Iwobi, more consistent. We need more defensive midfielder coverages. And obviously, they need more camaraderie than what they're showcasing. But so
mm,
far, I like that they made it through. But it wasn't wrong of you not to pick them to top it. But the sad thing is now you never went for Tunisia, which that was a sensible thing to go for. That's where people can give you a revolutionary beating. You understand me?
Listen, JD, I watched that game, I was like, oh. When Tunisia went quick too, I was like, oh, whoa, this prediction is not going to look well at all. Oh no, oh, but like on the Nigeria point, right? Again, talking with my best friend because we were talking over the holiday, and then he looked at me dead straight and said, no, 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 no. Nigeria, if you look at their starting 11, should be the best team in Africa, minus the goalie. I'm like, yes, no one's going to. Every Nigerian fan knows the stress of Stanley, right? It's one moment it's a big save, the next moment he wants the power slide like he's a rock and roll star
Yes,
out of the
Stanley
box
is an
here, like
embarrassment of a goalkeeper. I think he's a troll masquerading as a goalkeeper. His brains goes. Yes, he's always a one goal back to the opposition. If you just decide that you're gonna wait until he effed up in a game, Africans,
mm,
he is the one human being you expect. Just wait there. You're gonna get a ball to top in the net. It's just because sometimes when it comes, it's unexpected. That's why they don't tap it in the net.
yep.
But have you ever watched Stanley play the game and you say that he's not a one error game goalkeeper?
No, no, that was my experience watching the Afcon last time. That's why I kept on saying you can't keep getting away with this. The
Jesus
defense wasn't
Christ, man.
strong, and then you were giving up opportunities of going through. I felt like this is they can't keep getting away with this. But I think that's the biggest thing. But again, like you said, Nigeria played well and got good results here. Now, the question we're all going to have for them is okay, good. You battled Tunisia, you battled Uganda, and their 17 goalies, because I saw every goalie play in that Uganda game. Everyone. Whether you were injured, you got a red, every goalie played for Uganda. And then Tanzania came. Now you get to the round of 16, and it's like the thing we say whenever you get to any competition. Now you're just playing good sides. Like there's good sides in your groups, but everyone there is now thinking we have a chance because they're there. Now let's see how you perform in that area. I still believe in my thoughts with them, but I don't know how much I should trust them based off of this. I give them a lot of credit for how they've performed. The one thing I always appreciate about this Nigeria side, at least for me, is the hierarchy is always there. Whether you think it's great or not, you could have people playing in great form. You know, once the ball gets wide, Osman puts his hand up, and every player sees him, and everyone players says diagonal cross, and they say, Osman, if you miss 12, you miss 12. But no one will tell us that our best nine didn't have a chance to give us a win. And I
Yeah,
appreciate that with him. Other things in this group, I think, that are low key stories. Man, if Uganda hits that penalty against Tanzania at the end of the game, they're going through. They had a penalty late to win the game, and they aren't able to put it through. And because of that, now they sit on 1 point instead of what should have been three. And if they're staying on three, they're moving through. So that's a tough pill to swallow if you're a side that you're just in the grasps of things, but then aren't able to come through at the end. But Tunisia, I think, were kind of what I expected them to be. Uganda, think, simply put, without spoiling it, they were the team I was the most disappointed in because I picked them to beat the group. I can't be disappointed in a team that I didn't pick to win the group from that standpoint. But anything else that stands out to you from this group before we move on to Group D?
No, no. I think I'm still waiting on Nigeria to get their
Mm-hmm.
test, which will come in the next round. Um, Maybe not the immediate next round, but if they do progress, and then in the semifinals, I think you will see much more of because I think at least the last time I could say 3 to 4 teams looks equally on par. I think 3 to 4 teams look better than Nigeria in the competition.
Mm,
So I want to see them in the next round. And I will be live, people. So join me on the stream. I will be live because you know that we are always here to honestly look at Nigeria because we want them to be good. We truly believe that they are the only ones can compete with Morocco. But at this point, I think Morocco is very, very much and Africans better than Nigeria. I don't even think
mm,
it's a conversation. I think if both of them played 5 times, you might
mm,
get 4 wins for Morocco and 1 draw in the 5 games.
mm,
Yes, it's that bad. How much Nigeria cannot transfer their talent into actual positivity. I have been
mm,
watching it far too long, and the level of quality that can't make sense on the field, you have to wonder if your brain cell makes sense. To
mm,
can't get the, I've never seen so much ballers on the field cannot dominate games. We have watched more than 20 games, Africans. And the last game Nigeria dominated was Sierra Leone. 900 years ago when Osimhen tapped in every ball. He flicks in his head back, the ball goes in. Bicycle kick, the ball goes in. That's the last game they have dominated.
mm,
And that was like 3 years now, 3 years, Yes, they have
mm.
not dominated any game. They allow everybody back into the games because of. I honestly believe that this coach is not the best coach. But I just believe that is some attitude of these players. When they
I,
come together,
mhm.
they just can't make a good team.
I think it's more. I think it's always I think it's the more I've watched the team. I think it's more so the players because every time I watch them, it feels as if they go from they play a solid, like the Nigeria game script for me is they play a solid 40 to 60. someone turns off the car engine for 20 minutes, and then in that time, whatever goals you get, you're getting them. And then someone realizes, oh, I'm sorry, we've been rolling down this hill neutral. Let's start the car. Hopefully, it starts going up downhill on our man, and then we go. It's consistency with them. So as much, and it was worse with their coach previously. With this coach, it seems like they finally put the scoring and looking dangerous better again. Finally, without the pressure and their backs against the wall. And so I'm curious to see now, okay, more competition games. Can they do it in less than 90 minutes? Because against Gabon, they were lucky that once they got to that, they had more legs. And they got it in the World Cup qualifiers, for example. And then
Remember, Gabon, it should have been a penalty. So Nigeria
yeah.
never deserved to pass Gabon in that game. Gabon deserved to win the game. But obviously, after they're tired now and never had the level, Nigeria just out talent Gabon. So none of these games are good performances. You understand me? Remember, we have watched.
Yeah.
So, people, I am a Nigeria supporter. Don't get it wrong. But I'm an honest football man. You understand me? So I don't set you up for you to think of something that I know won't happen. You understand me? Yes. So that's why we want Nigeria to be good. That's the thing that stressed us out, because we want them to do good, and they are always so mediocre. And I would say that this don't tell the truth of how they performed, but you're going to see when they move to the next round. Yes,
Yeah.
sorry about that.
No,
Africans,
no problem. Well, let's keep it rolling. It's funny I said Nigeria should be the best team in Africa outside of Morocco, and I'm thinking I
yes,
can
I
hear
think
Mo.
you're
I
disrespecting
can
Morocco there, you know.
I can hear Mo football in my ear saying, "Hey, Senegal is here. Okay, we are the best
No,
team right
Senegal,
now."
Senegal.
But
More football. Let me speak to you, more football. Let me speak to you. Senegal ain't no best football team in Africa, blood. Flat out. Morocco better than Senegal by far, and it's not close. More football, watch football, and stop this propaganda. Propaganda. All right? Yes.
life is good. New
So,
Year's,
Africans, you
yes.
believe more football that Senegal is better than Morocco?
I think it's a closer conversation than we've actually had. That's what I think. But let's
So,
talk about let's talk about Senegal in this
Senegal
group.
ain't clearing Congo, Africans.
But
They
I
have
think
played
there's a
three
reason for
times. They
that.
have played 3 times in 2 months. Do you look at, and it takes a dodgy referee call, and obviously Congo down tools to lose 2 goals, to lose 3-2. Africans, I know that more football is a virgin, but I have a beaten theme, a revolutionary beaten. Brother, Senegal is okay, but Senegal ain't better than no Congo. All right?
Okay. Well, we'll bring this. Listen, my 2026 is now full of initiatives. I'm
People
happy.
in the
I
chat,
am
more
happy.
football is going to come for me. He's going to come for me. But let we know, Senegal better than Morocco. I don't think Senegal better than Nigeria either. I think Senegal is just in and around. Obviously, Nigeria is a disappointment when it comes on to their performance, but they still they ain't clearing nobody. They have not gotten together. You know.
Let's go to Group D here because Senegal tops. No,
All
no,
right,
because I
Africans,
think
you're trying to avoid the beating that I
no,
want to give more
no, no, no,
football.
no,
Yeah,
no, no,
yeah.
no, 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 no. There's because why will I have a conversation with spoons with the men with forks will come in and yell later? So this is fine for me, right? But I think we look at this group here, right? You have Senegal, DR Congo, and then Benin finishing top. Botswana, we both had them finishing last. Um, Senegal, to me, the biggest issue I have with Senegal is, or the biggest question I have for them after this. Actually, what did we have in the predictions for this group? I think we both had Botswana finishing last. But did I go DR Congo up top or did I go Senegal up top for the top of the
No,
group?
you went for Senegal. You went for
Yes.
Senegal, and I said to you, this group is going to be very, very much closer than what you think.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely closer than what you think, because I don't. We had seen them before, and we know that Senegal, Congo is getting better. They don't have Wissam, those guys, but they are getting better because all they needed was more game time. You understand me? because they have new players coming in.
Yes.
Yes. And to me, yeah, that's why. And I said it's going to be on the goal difference because
Mm.
Senegal not beating them. That's Africans that before the competition
Yeah.
started.
No, that's true.
More football. I literally said that. So if your team was so great, oh, I couldn't separate them on points. You see what I'm saying, Africans? That's why you have to respect me. You're gonna call him. You're gonna
No, no,
fight
no,
him.
no. I'm not gonna
All
call him. I'm
right.
not calling him.
So I'm here
I'm
to
just sending him
butter
a
him.
message and saying, "Hey, if you are free."
Yes, I'm here to butter him because
but no,
what I'm saying makes
yeah.
sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think like the way the group went out is not a surprise for me. If I look at Senegal, the biggest question I have for them is what do they do with Sadio Mane? Right? What do they do with him? Because he's a player who the legacy speaks for itself. No one is
Yes.
questioning him about who he is in world football or where he stands in world football. I do think now, if people who are saying he was better than Salah over the last few years, you have to look in that conversation and say, actually, last year Salah was for large chunks of the year was the best player on the planet, hands down, and Mane wasn't that. But when you look at their national team, I'll make a comparison for another player in Africa where I think this is where he should be, and I think he should be in the Abubakar version of where he should be in his career, where he's a 45 to 30 minutes second half type player. I think the Senegal team
Ooh.
is more is talented in a way where I think
One thing. Your
Mane,
so
I think
right, your
is
takes
still
them your takes them aggravating people, You're getting good at these takes, you have some legend.
I'm
2026,
I'm
you're
not
gonna
even
get
trying
some
to be
legendary beating.
disrespectful.
No,
I'm
I
not
agree.
trying to
I
be
agree with you, but you're gonna more football. We have to tag team more football now because
yeah.
it's going to come and attack you.
We've talked. I think we agree. I think we both agree on this.
Oh, okay. So, all
Yeah.
three of us agree then. Okay.
Yeah, because like I think for him, like he's still like yes, he scores a tying goal against DR Congo, and so you can't take that away from him. But I think he feels like a player who I think can still give to the national team, but I don't think you should be asking him to give that 70 60 to 70 minutes a game. I think when you look at how Senegal are recruiting, you look at the players they have on their bench, he's the perfect example of a player that I'd say, hey, start the youth. And if it's not working, hey, we have a fresh Sadio Mane who has seen the game, knows what type of game is being played. And then from there, he can kind of fit into the game better and suit well. Because that to me, I think is his best form versus him starting always on the left and and pushing forward from there. What's your take on that? Yeah, he haven't missed too much, Chris.
Yes, I would agree with you that sometimes most teams get caught up into legacy.
Mm.
And that's why I said I love South Africa and those teams because what they did is literally makes it about the system rather than
Mhm.
any individual. And what most of these teams like Nigeria, Senegal, Cameroon does, they have a care package for superstars that
Mm.
they can't, and that's their problem why they can't really be top dogs in the regions, because they don't build it around the system. It's like 'cause I spoke to a coach before and they said football is about who you are as an individual.
Mm.
So most of these people believe in a hierarchy above them. So they kind of put that principle that they can't seem to shake. And when you have a young kid that is bursting with quality, you're still going to pick that person because you're saying that he's a legend. No, but the
Mm.
next team don't care about legend. They care about the metrics. And you can't just make up stories and live off the fantasy. You understand me? Oh, what? Oh, that guy did that 3 years ago. No, you have to move on from that because the young kid have much more legs and he has more education as well. Starting his career at 20 years old, he's getting the
Mhm.
equal education as to what Mane had over his 32 years. You understand me? Yes.
Mhm.
So it's not the time for we to hold on to glory or past glories. It's time for you to oh Aritam is better. We're going to put him in. And then no, Mane, what you need to do now, show something about your love for a country and keep elevating that kid, keep
Mm,
motivating him, and you be happy to be a part of this team because it's about the country and not one individual.
mhm.
And that's how you keep countries propelling or keep on the conveyor belt going. But
Yeah.
some of these conveyor belt stocks, you know.
No, that's true. That's true. And I'll put up Christopher your point here because I think it adds to it. It depends on the coach formation for Mane. I believe Cameroon might take it because I see discipline and determination Eto's doing in that sense. And that is a fair point in terms of that. I'll keep that in a point. But I think formation does matter, but I always find that conversation in terms of players, for instance, it becomes a flat circle of arguing against yourself, right? A new player will come and say, "Oh, they're not ready for the environment because they're not used to how we play here." Fine. Like we do it in Concacaf, we do it in Afcon. Fine. We do it in CAF, we do it in different places. What I always find funny is it becomes a flat circle argument, right? A new player will come and say, "Oh, they're not ready for they're not accustomed to it. So we can't we have to play him, we have to bring him in slowly." Then they don't play him, right? And then it turns into a, well, this player's not good. He's not playing. Why isn't he playing? Well, he's not accustomed to the environment. Well, he can only get accustomed to the environment if you play him, but you're not playing him. Why aren't you playing him? Oh, because he's not accustomed to the environment. Therefore, he's not good. No, he's not good. Why is he not good? He's because he's not playing. Why isn't he not playing? Because he's not accustomed to the environment. Why don't you play him? Oh, because he's not ready for the environment yet. So then he doesn't play. And then we say, oh, the player's not good. And then it becomes flat as a time circle. We keep arguing in circles. You have to give them a chance to see what they have and then assess from there. And the team like a Senegal, like I said, ultimately at the end of the day, you have to look at the talent that is coming in, right? I'll continue to say this because the World Cup has expanded. More players are going to look to their heritage and say, "Hey, I might as well give this a thought, whether they go through it or not. Give them the opportunities to see things, give them the opportunities to play through, but that's always going to be there. So if you're a player like that, take all your options, look through, play. But if they don't give you the opportunity, it's not going to be a crazy thing. And I think for Senegal, there's so much talent that's coming. A player like Sadio Mane will always have the respect. Don't get me wrong. We're not saying that he's a washed player. He still has something to give this national team. But I don't know if he should be giving it at that level here. This saying to a team that is top their group off of goal difference versus DR Congo. But ultimately, congratulations to them. They won the group. Game of the match, game of the group for you was that the DR Congo Senegal matchup for you. That was the best matchup in the group for you.
Yeah, yes and no, because
Fair
even
enough.
though both of them was we expected that to be the big game, we knew
Hmm.
that we were going to get a tactical affair and
Yeah.
stuff. We knew that, but we knew that they're going to both of them will express themselves against the other opponents, so
Hmm.
that's what will determine the actual group. Because remember, we had them drawing, so that's why I had the goal difference. Maybe
Hmm.
you had them getting extra lead. We're going to come to the comment section right after, but guys, please, we have like 6 and 5 likes on the videos. Them definitely get the likes on the video so we can get more visibility. So anywhere you're watching, just double click and get the likes up. Give your takes. Happy New Year to everyone that's coming in. We're back with a bang. Yeah, man. We are gonna be on your TV screen. So make sure to click your notifications on anywhere you are. Africans here, space. We are here. We are back to burn down the building. All right,
Hmm.
because these games are very much nice. It gives me back a new belief of loving back the game. So what I was actually saying, Africans, I knew that the other games would have determined how I view each one of these teams.
Yeah.
And the reason why Congo is the most impressive team for me so far in this qualification, I thought that Congo, we expected Morocco to do well. We expected Nigeria to use talent to get them over the line. Obviously, you would say that that never happens. So we give them more credit. But Congo was my most impressive team because
Hmm.
Congo showcased to me that they're getting strength in depth. We expected
Hmm.
Sadiki and Malco and those guys to come in and improve Lembeki. Lembeki. So what's his name again?
Yeah.
Um, Right back, right back. I was one Bissaka, one
One
Bissaka.
Bissaka,
We
yeah.
expected them to work in, and Mbamba should help them to matriculate. But when they dropped those players and put the second string team in, they still never dropped off on Africans. They
Yeah.
still looked very solid. Obviously, Ellie and those guys are experienced players, so they can help the others come in. So they are widening their team cohesion, so they are going to be a problem, and that's why I put Jamaica in my title, because this is what I never wanted. I never
Mm,
wanted them to have that synergy that expand past their 11, because their
mm,
11 was based on flat out quality, you
yeah.
know. Oh, you have one Bissaka, Tuan Zabi, and everybody that learn football the proper way, so they can out talent other teams that's not Nigeria and others, which they
Mhm,
actually out talent Nigeria as well. But yeah, so now they're going into my bench, Macau, them coming off my bench.
mm,
Those are quality players. 12 million market value only on the uptick. And Elia playing the role like Sadio Mane should be playing. Africans trying to add a good winger into your system and know that he's the future. No, you want to be the centerpiece, so nobody else learning. You understand me? So
mm,
I am impressed with Congo more than anything else, and I told you that Congo would be the team that I was impressed with, because it was not by accident why they dominated Nigeria.
mhm.
Because remember in that game at Africans, when Nigeria scored, I said, Africans, it looked like the wrong team scored,
Yeah.
because Congo dominating this game. So and they showed me that they have multiple ways of playing. They can sit back and counter you. They can
Mhm.
take charge, because Sadiki is one of the best midfielders in Africa.
Yeah.
I know I saw why he thought that he was better than Tillemans and
Mhm.
deserved to make the Belgian team. Because remember, that's why he ended up in Congo, because
Yeah.
he said he's not going to wait. He thinks he's better than Tillemans, which he's showcasing in the Premier League, that he's dragging Sunderland. You
Mm.
understand me? So um, we have to give them credit. We have to give them credit. But
No,
that
I agree,
they
yeah.
are my impressive team for this window, people. So let me know if you guys agree with me with Congo. They are impressive, and I think Jamaica is in more trouble based on how much games they got, because the best opportunity Jamaica had to beat them Africans, I thought that is when if they never participated in this competition, them
Yeah.
getting more games. So Wissa is just gonna add on top of this.
Yep. And this and like I was this the thought just came to me here, and I think a good I think the way that they've played in the continent, not results wise, but like how far they've gotten in competitions, it's very similar in a CONCACAF way to what Panama has done in the last. Okay, okay, we're on the same. Because I was like,
Fox, Fox.
wait a minute, because like I think this team clearly has more talent than Panama, but
Yeah, no,
no
no, we're not
disrespect to
talking.
them. Yeah,
They're much more talented. But remember, the African region is more talented than our
but
region. So
yeah,
Nigeria is 500 million. So even if they come off at 200, 150 million, it's still the Panama of that region.
mhm,
So you're
yeah,
right. You're right.
right. Yeah, it's like the coaches kept the system well, cool, and then you're looking at the results. Last Afcon, people forget semi-finalists. It's not
Yes,
as if
yes.
it was like, oh, they were there. And then this AFCON, they're doing well. World Cup qualifiers, they've performed well. The last World Cup qualifiers made it to the end, but then they spurged themselves. But it's so interesting. I don't know why it just came to me, but I'm glad we're on the same wave. They're a side that's just quality and they're adding to it. And I think that's the interesting thing and the exciting thing for DR Congo when it comes to okay, what could they actually do if everything is firing on cylinders? You add those players. I think not only from a hey, they can make the World Cup, but also from a on the continent standpoint, they're knocking on the door of that top echelon to say, hey, look at our results. Now with Panama, it's the same conversation we had with them. Can you now maintain that level of quality in
Yeah.
competitions and get
When
results now?
yeah.
And I think that'll be, I think they're not incapable of it. They certainly aren't
Yes,
incapable of it.
because Africans, remember, they came in with expectations in this. This is the time that people
Mhm.
expected them to perform now. So you have to give them. You have to say that they start at least what you, on the same part that you're going on.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time that people expect them to win games, and they
Yeah.
turn up winning the games them and spreading their team as well. So that
Yeah.
means they're building a culture. So you're right, man. That's a good comparison to our region. Yes, yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So when I had said it to Africans now, so let me go back to our Nostradamus take, because I said they
Yeah.
are my dark horse to win this entire thing.
I know they are. Uh, I I hope.
So
I
you can't see them winning the entire
no.
thing. Let we know, people.
I could see
No,
it. I could see it.
no, I
Don't
never
get
say
me.
they can't. I'm just asking a
Yeah.
question. If you can't see them winning the entire thing,
I can see them winning the whole thing. The question is, I can also see them right. A team that always gets close but can't get over the line. You don't have faith
okay,
in it, all right? And so that to me is this is where I need to see it once before I can give you the credit for it all.
yes, yes,
And that's the reality of sports, right? We'll always judge a team within the narrative until they break the narrative. And right now, the narrative for DR Congo is super talented, has the ability to win it all, also has the capability of just bottling it in the most excruciating ways every time.
okay.
And so I want to see them do it. I don't doubt the talent. Let's be clear. We've never doubted the talent. I just doubt the ability to finish. And maybe this is where they prove me wrong. I would love for it to be this time because I think it'd be
Well, I'm
fun.
hoping that it's not this time, because we
Mm,
can't get back to back beating, because you just got the beating from Nigeria. So I
mhm.
don't want to get back to back beating. So I'm hoping that you're right this time, you know?
Yeah.
And also, I'm hoping that you're right, because they are going to play Jamaica. So we can't have them to be so good so fast, you know? Yes.
You
Because it
need them.
might
You need
end
a new
very
system.
bad.
You need a
It
new
might end
system for
very
them.
bad. You understand me? So, people, I am
Mhm,
hoping that they don't go as far.
mhm,
Yeah, but they are doing everything right. They are
mhm,
showcasing the depth of their squad, the styles that they can play, and definitely have a lot of quality that have not even gotten involved as yet. So I'm just hoping that they don't extend this looking good,
mhm.
because it might end very bad for
No,
Jamaica.
it is
Not
true.
just losing, but very bad if they get it together. You know?
True. All right, we'll move on to the next group. And guys, I know you're making comments. I'm starring some of the good ones so we can get back and
Yes, we
talk
need.
about them, but
Yeah.
we will get to them as we go. We're on to Group E. To me, in a sense, I think this has been an impressive group. I am impressed with what Algeria did. I had my few doubts with them, but Algeria, Burkina Faso, Sudan, Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea, I thought, the Cinderellas from last time, they come back and do something. Nothing. A bagel. No food. No rice and peas. No sorrel.
Yeah, they are
Nothing.
embarrassment this time.
And so, what did we have for this group? Because I think Algeria were more impressive in terms of the results that they got. I think this was a tough group. I At the beginning I said you picked any two teams, you tell me they get out, I won't be surprised in this group. And I mean Equatorial Guinea, if they don't bottle the game in the first matchup, they have 3 points or at least one. If uh if Algeria gets 3 goals and they only concede one, I mean 3 games only concede one. Burkina Faso, I think, was ready to play, and then Equatorial Guinea, truthfully, weren't bad in any of their games. They just couldn't finish, which I mean
Yeah,
ultimately is
yeah,
what
but
the issue is. That
it's a
means you're bad.
competitive group, Africans. It was a
Yeah.
competitive group because of Burkina Faso. That's why we said
Mhm.
Equatorial Guinea will have problems, because
Mm,
we thought that Burkina Faso could have beaten them.
mm,
And it's just sad, they stayed in all games, as what you said. But all of these teams, maybe Sudan game, I never really liked that. And that's where I was disappointed. At least finish on
mm.
3 damn points and come third. But Burkina Faso and Algeria, we expected them to be up there with
Yes.
you. So
Mhm.
yes, they let me down. They let me down because I thought that they would have expanded on what we knew about them.
Yes. I mean, shout out to, I mean, the side story in this group is, oh, what's that? Lucas Zidane? Zidane came to Afcon to watch his boy start for Algeria. Hey, welcome, welcome. that sparked me. I had yeah. Keep jumping.
Africans. Sebastian Dasabri is the coach for Congo,
Yes,
French national coach. So we just want to put that in. Then because questions coming in fast, Africans, and
yes.
we know we never expected to push it, but because the people in here, we have to do what we have to do. Yes. So it's a French coach. He's a French coach. Richard Green. Happy New Year, Art of Love, and all the individuals
Mhm,
coming through. Massive respect. Please subscribe to all of the platforms,
mhm,
especially Africans platform, because this is where the show normally be. But because I've never gotten a chance to do anything, every day I try to come on for one of these games. Something took me out because the
mm,
family, yeah, it was. I had my kid to keep. Either I'm coming from Netherlands, all sorts of stories, and I couldn't get a game, people. But
mm,
thanks to Africans, so I could have streamed it from my platform, so I could get at least some content out. But I'm struggling for 2 weeks to get one content out, and I can't every day. Yes, so
hey,
massive respect to all of you lovely people.
mhm,
Thanks that you made it in 2026. Yes. So Congo, Algeria. People ask me if Congo can beat. Yes, Congo can beat Algeria. I think they have the quality to beat them. Algeria still have the better technical ability. But
mm,
I think Congo can actually match their style and also have quality players, if not even more than Algeria. I
mhm,
actually think Congo might have more talent than Algeria today. You know that Algeria is a technical team. So what technical team does, if they you can't impose your physicality on them, they can get things more accurate and a much better skill than
mm.
the more physical team, even when they are more talented. So you cannot count out Algeria to win it over Congo, but Congo can beat Algeria. They can.
No, I definitely, and we'll get to those matchups as they get there. But just to
Yes,
wrap
yes.
up
But
on Group
because
E,
someone asked a
yeah,
question,
oh
yeah.
for sure, and then to actually to answer the question, another thing, the DR Congo coach has been with the team since 2022, so he's had 3 years to have the same players build and get to the point. Again, the comparison to Panama to me is very adept for this. It's a very fair comparison in terms of a team, a player, a coach who's been with the squad, has built it, has added, and now they've been able to open the door for more recruitment, getting more players. So that's a team. They're gonna be knocking on some top teams in a minute as we go. But in this group, I said pick any two. I wouldn't be surprised. Algeria definitely were the better team. That Burkina Faso matchup that they had
Yeah,
against
yeah, yeah. I remember
Algeria
the picture
matchup,
now. Yes, yes. You
that
were
was a
Fly
fun
and
game. Yeah,
Algerians. I
yeah.
warned you in Africans. I warned you, I warned you not. The always turn up. You know, the technical teams in Africa and Africans, you cannot drop them low. African football is so bad with even when they are good players at clubs, when they come together, most of these black nations they tend to don't have technical ability in their teams.
Mm,
So the fundamentals are always more important. So don't give up on the technical teams in Algeria, Egypt, and Morocco. Those teams can win games with less quality players than a star-studded team. Yes,
mm.
in Africa. Don't It's important. System in football is important. Know that superstars can always change games, but I think you can win more games with a team orientated style than a superstar team. That's sorry, Africans to cut in, but
No, it's
I
all
have
good.
to make sure I put that in because for years I've been telling people. So I never counted out Algeria. I picked them to win the group.
You did, you did, and I said pick any two, and I guess I picked one of the two. But we got I think Sudan getting over that. I mean, Sudan's an interesting story just because of what Kwasiapia has done with the team. It was a game like that Equatorial Guinea Sudan game was a game that if Equatorial Guinea takes their chances, they're up 2-3-1. If Sudan, once they score the goal, finish their chances, they win that game 2-3-1. And it's a game where it's a double bounce that gets a team into the next round. Equatorial Guinea, hey, you played well, and I don't think you're done. Ensu didn't play till the end, but well done. But this group, I really, I like the groups in this game. I like the teams in this group because ultimately every game I think was well contested, and I felt every team had a chance to get through. So I like this group. Surprised Algeria dominated the way that they did, but hey, when you have the reliable goalkeeping and then you get the timely goals and you can be defensive, I think that's fair for what we got from that group. Anything else on this group before we get to that last group here?
Um, yeah, no, we can move on to the next group. But
Mhm.
David, sorry, and every Nigerians, I'm very sorry for me not to be available. I just explained to you, my family came first. And every time I try to make a Nigeria game, I am 2 minutes late, and I like to put everything together. So tell you what, I am home for the Nigeria next round, so I will get the game. I will get a Congo game because I need to watch Congo so we can break it down. So when they are facing Jamaica, or if they're because Jamaica have to play Caledonia. I don't know why
Mhm.
I'm acting like that's not a game, but yes, maybe my Jamaicanness is getting to me. Yes, so sorry about that, David. Sorry about that. I will be back. I have not missed much games. Africans beating me, telling me that I've lost my spark, but I am back, blood. I am back, blood.
Where
All
was
right,
this group
I am
chat?
back.
Where
All
was
right.
this group chat?
Yeah, I have to tell the people that you beat me always to be, on point. I need to turn up. So I am
Mm.
back. Yes. Sorry, Africans.
Perfect. No,
Continue.
no problem. No problem. Last group, again, another top heavy group that went through. Cote d'Ivoire topping their group. Again, by the way, they won this 2 years ago. We don't talk about them as if they did anything. But they won this 2 years ago. And then Cameroon and then Mozambique. I think that was the most fun game I had watching when Mozambique beats Gabon. Uh, Gabon, they beat them 3-2 in that game. I had the most fun watching that game. It was, oh, they're up 1-0. Oh, okay, that's 2-0. 2-1. Okay, second half. Oh, it's 3-1. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And again, that game, that to me was just for pure vibes. That was the game for me, JD. I was seated. And I think it helped that I was live for it too, but it was such a fun game overall. But again, Cameroon going, Mozambique with the win. They're now able to go through and go to the next round. But Cote d'Ivoire, the champions who no one talks about, do you think they did enough in this group to remind the rest of the African sides that hey, we're here still? Okay, I know you have your Atlas Lions, you have your Lions of Terang, you have everyone else, but we still won this. Elephants are still roaming, and we will be reckoned with. Do you think they did enough to show you that they are still a factor to win this competition?
Hell no. Hell no. They were not impressive at all. All right? They were not impressive at all. Um, Thanks to the gods that they made it at the top. I am
Mm,
surprised that you are giving them so much credit. No, they are not as impressive at all. I think they got very much lucky. Gabon, something is wrong with Gabon. They
mm,
expected them to be much better. There is no way Ivory Coast should have come back into this game at all. You understand me? I'm very sorry. They should have piled it on Ivory Coast, and Gabon, you let me down. But Ivory Coast have not been impressive at all. I
mm,
think that they are going to struggle against anybody they get in the next round. You know, yes,
mm,
they have not impressed at all because we expected them to be the winners. Flat out, much more convincing, and it took a miraculous comeback to get into top position. Because remember, at
mm.
one point they looked like they were going to not make it through,
It-
or make it find a top team to dash them out of the actual competition. So let we not act like they were all smoothie and was going to, no,
mm.
no,
Y-
and they weren't
li-
impressive at all.
Listen, if you watch Cote d'Ivoire in these last two competitions for Afcon, it's the same
Yes.
script. Because remember,
Them
remember,
and Nigeria, but Nigeria looks a little bit better than them. Remember, it's a more terrible, struggling team that made it to the finals.
mhm,
So, Nigeria looks like a little bit better. Um,
mhm.
a little
Agree.
bit better than Cote d'Ivoire. I'm very sorry.
And again, we're not saying they're a bad team. We're just saying they haven't looked impressive in their game so far. We're not saying they're bad. So, but please distinguish between both things. But
Yes, no, we're not saying they're, but
yeah,
all of these teams. The problem we have, they should be more consistent.
Mm.
You understand me? For the quality that they do have, David. We're not saying that they are a terrible team. But if you're a good team, if you're, if you have big players and you do bad, we should beat you even worse, Africans, right? Because the reason why you're good is because you should get it much more consistent.
I think if you look at them in the group stages of both these AFCONs, they haven't been impressive, which then begs the question, is this just a side that caught lightning in the bottle when they hosted? Because again, let's not forget, Emilio Ensu was running through these elephants last World Cup. I mean, not World Cup, last AFCON, right? That was a at home. Imagine 4 at home. And then this Gabon came up early and like, oh, maybe they can get something. And then Gabon capitulated, and then they got the result that they needed. But I would agree with you. I don't think Cote d'Ivoire have looked impressive. They gotten the results. They've topped the group, but they've probably been the least impressive of the group
Yeah,
winners
agreed.
overall. And so I think they have much more to show now. Maybe again, once they reach round of 16, once you reach that
They
level,
could turn it up.
the
Yeah,
ivory
agreed.
becomes more strong. The defense becomes impenetrable, and then you have to rely on Ahmad to score all your goals and do good things for you. But I don't think it's harsh to say they haven't looked good in this tournament overall. We're keeping that comment there. We're keeping that comment there. Don't
Super
look better
Eagle
than the
don't look
elephants.
better than the elephants. I could say it's a tie. Oh God. All
Okay,
right,
this
all
is
right. Your age
fair
is
enough.
for Super Eagle. It's special, man.
I might take the cake on that, but we'll go from there. So our third place
Oh, oh,
teams, as you see,
oh God, oh God.
you have your third place teams: Mozambique, Benin, Sudan, and Tanzania. Again, 2.2 draws could have done so well for you, and on goal difference, that's where you made it through. And then they had everything. So the round of 16 matchups that we have Mali versus Tunisia, we have Senegal versus Sudan, we have Egypt
Okay.
versus Benin, Cote d'Ivoire versus Burkina Faso,
Woo!
Cameroon versus South Africa, Morocco versus Tanzania, Algeria versus DR Congo, and then Nigeria versus Mozambique.
Oh,
In the group stages, I
oh
would
my
say
God,
we
oh
we
my
will
God.
eat well, JD. We will eat well.
Oh my God, we have we. You don't see what's going on, Africans.
Yeah.
Winners of R7 and R6 is in that's Algeria, DR Congo will be the pick of the round,
Yes.
100%.
Hmm.
Yes, for that one. And then now we have Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso.
I was thinking
Oh
that. I was
God,
eyeing that. I think that'll be a
those
fun
are going
matchup.
to be some, yeah, yeah. All right, all right. And then we could get a rebirth of Nigeria versus DR Congo again. You don't realize.
I do realize. Yeah, but
It's going to be tough
yeah,
because Algeria is the tougher opponent. We expect Nigeria to pass Mozambique. We
hmm,
expect. But Mozambique ain't in pushover. They have
yep,
made it here for a reason. They can pose some challenge by being as organized as possible. But I expect Nigeria to pass them. But nonetheless, let me run through the predictions, Africans.
okay.
Oh
Let
God, be
let's
careful,
yeah.
Africans. You have to
Listen,
be careful,
okay.
Africans. One strike already.
I will take that strike. Listen, I need 3 strikes to be out, so I will take that strike easily. Okay, nothing is wrong. One, yeah, I do agree with you, Irie Vibes. One pathway looks a lot more difficult than the other. I'll let you decide which one it is. It is stacked.
Well, clearly
If
it's the B side. You have South
yeah,
Africa, very good. Morocco, very good. Algeria, very good. DR Congo, very good. Nigeria, very good as well. So that has to be that side. I
yes.
don't know. Senegal, okay.
All
Egypt,
right.
good.
Let's
And
okay.
that's it.
Okay, let's go top to bottom and then just give our picks. And then you guys want to put your picks in, put them in as well. So Mali versus Tunisia.
Ooh, I am
I
going with Mali.
I have no faith in Tunisia. I really do. I want to, but I'm going Mali here. The West African bias is
Yeah,
always true.
Mali. I'm going.
Um,
That I am going with Mali. I expect Tunisia is a good footballing playing team, the better
mm,
footballing team. That is true, but I think they can't out. They can't use that. Mali's. I think Mali's talent will get them over the line. Yes,
Hmm.
so I'm going with Mali.
Perfect. Okay, we got David saying
David goes with
Mali as
Mali as
well.
well.
All right. A couple more predictions before we go on to the next
Africans.
one. Yeah.
David was actually picking up for Tunisia. Oh, I never include Tunisia in proper football playing. But he said Mali will beat them just the same.
Yes. Okay. Fair point, Steph. Tunisia only because they are more aggressive in the attack, and I think they're a
All
better
right.
set in that counter. That's fair. I think
Yes,
that's a
and
fair
they're a
thing.
better football playing team.
Okay.
Period.
Determined is going with Tunisia. Okay, so we're getting
Eh,
a good
We,
bounce
we
on that.
expect that. We expect
That
that based on his comments. We expect that. Yes.
fair point. Fair point. Okay, so a good mix there. Okay. Senegal versus Sudan. Listen,
Ooh.
if Senegal don't get past Sudan, I there's nothing positive I can say about them. Okay, I can't.
The
But it's
legendary beating that your friend would have gotten
well, he'll
if they
come.
don't pass Sudan, which we expect. We expect
Yeah.
Senegal will win this one comfortable. Senegal wins this one comfortable. They are way more talented than Sudan.
Mhm.
Only a referee's decision, maybe a red card down or something, can cost them. But aside from that, I think Senegal makes it through.
I would go with that as well. We got Senegal for sure. Okay, everyone is feeling Senegal for that. All right. Next matchup we have Egypt
Benin, Egypt.
versus
Ooh.
Egypt.
I think Egypt gets through, but it's not going to be easy. Africans, Benin, we have seen Benin when they're ready to stock it on people, they can be really tricky with that counter system with the ridiculous speed. So Egypt will pass them because Egypt is just technical and actually adds quality. Because Mamouche is definitely doing good. Salah has something to prove to Jamie Carragher in England. He's still on that tier. He's still on that tier and he's going to tear Benin up. But Benin will cause as much problems. You saw
Yes.
Benin cause Nigeria problems, Congo problems, and a lot of teams problems. They can be a challenge. If they cause South Africa problems as well, they can be a problem. So I think this is going to be closer, but Egypt still takes it.
Perfect. All right. So to okay, who did I click on? I had Egypt. Okay. Grace is saying Egypt over Benin. We got an Egypt from
Yes.
David as well. Perfect. Perfect. Egypt. We're coming into Egypt. Okay. Egypt is the side. Pharaohs. Cote d'Ivoire versus Burkina Faso. Now that I think
Woo! This is the first upset on paper that I'm going with Africans.
you're
I
going
think
Burkina Faso.
yeah, Burkina Faso beats Ivory Coast. I think
I
this is in the road for Ivory Coast.
watch them 0-0 and penalty their way to another championship. Watch them do it.
I am going with Burkina Faso. Eh, Upsetting Ivory Coast. That's what I'm going with.
Agreed.
I
Yeah.
know everyone going against me today, but yes, I'm going to be the era coming back for Burkina Faso.
I want to pick Burkina Faso, but I just watched Cote d'Ivoire get in at the end and then all of a sudden decide, oh yeah, we can defend and we can save penalties. And pan. I can't. I want to pick Burkina Faso, but I've just seen Cote d'Ivoire do it, so I am ready either. But I think we've got a good mix on who's going who. Burkina Faso for determine. We got Cote d'Ivoire for Marvin. All right. Cote d'Ivoire by 2 goals, Steph Joe. Okay. Thank you, sir. With your chest, I appreciate it. With your chest, by 2 goals over Burkina Faso. Fair
Oh,
enough.
by 2 goals. All right, all right.
Okay. Now we get to the gentleman's side of the bracket, apparently.
Ooh.
South Africa versus Cameroon.
I am very
Cameroon on
sorry.
paper, it should be.
On paper, it should be Cameroon. Really? Oh yeah. Based on talent, yes. Based
Yeah.
on talent, yeah. Market value and everything. That is true. But I
Cameroon,
think this is an next upset again. South Africa beating Cameroonian Africans. They are
the best
beating
goalkeeper.
Cameroonian.
They have the best goal. I still argue they still have the best goalkeeper on in Africa for a time. I think he's the best goalkeeper for Africa, Ronan Williams. So if he's gonna do it, if he's gonna carry them to the semis again, they had an easier path last time. I think he can do it. I got South Africa, Marvin Farron, Cameroon. All right, Clement, and then we got Cameroon 3-2.
Oh
Perfect.
God.
Okay, so we're getting a nice
Christopher
mix
being
on
exact.
these. We're getting a nice mix on these.
People,
Y-
South Africa have been doing me proud for a team that has much more black players on it. And
Mm,
they play technical football. I like that. I think they
mm.
are beating the bricks of Cameroon. I saw them dominate Nigeria enough times. You know, I think they deserve this. They deserve this to go through above
this is
Cameroon. All
this is
right.
the AFCON. This is my AFCON logic for groups. On paper, it should be this group, but because it's AFCON, I'm picking the other side. So on paper, it should be Cameroon, but because it's AFCON, I'm going South Africa. Um,
But
but
Africans, you have to be honest, not on paper only. Performances, South Africa have been light years better than Cameroon.
yeah, I won't push back on that.
So I am surprised that we can't just say it without stress. South Africa beating Cameroon.
Listen, you got 2 days of
Uh,
clips out of this. We're gonna be good.
uh,
uh,
Happy New
okay.
Year, everyone that's coming
Yes.
in. And we saw Brian Burke, massive respect, my brother, and the great Drew Ross in the building. Big up yourself. Massive respect.
Yes.
Yes. People, I'm going out. South Africa have beaten too much of my teams, play good
Mhm.
against too much of my teams for me not to give them credit. I think I deserve to be wrong for once. South Africa.
For once. Oh, for once, he says. All right. Determined they have a good system. Fair point. Fair point. Okay. South Africa is the Costa Rica of CAF. That's an interesting comparison. That's not a terrible one. That's
Or
not a
if you want
terrible
to, you put the
comparison.
Panama in it as well. I think Panama even fits them even better because their system is better than their players. You know, so
I still think DR Congo is the Panama, but we'll have that on another day. As we go from there. All right, so we have that. Then Morocco, the host, versus Tanzania. I mean, I assume it's we're all going with Morocco here. I assume we're all going with if Tanzania gets their first win at AFCON by beating Morocco. I don't know what to. I will not know what to say. I'm picking
nah, nah,
Morocco
nah,
here.
nah. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Agree. That might be the most surest result we
Hmm.
think we saw in the competition. Morocco over Tanzania. I think that should be the biggest odds. Yes, Morocco.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah, Morocco will be straight to um Morocco will be straight to Africans.
Yeah.
Morocco will go straight to the semifinals.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Elite prayers. We see you. We see you. Happy New Year, Morocco. Yes, I think most of us will take Morocco, even though they're coming through. Coco Lansley's coming in saying Cameroon is my African side. They will beat South by 2 goals clear. Okay, so some
All right,
people
Pastor.
the chat
All
has
right.
chest. Apparently, I don't. So good for you guys. That's a
But
quote
the
right
chest is
there.
going two different
Pause.
sides, you know. I am saying South Africa make no
That's a
sense. This
quote
is over
right there.
Cameroon.
Okay, so Morocco, I think we're all going with I think the game of the round, definitely. Algeria versus DR Congo.
Yes. Yes. And Africans, I am going with Congo again. I think Congo beating the Algeria. It's gonna be the game of the round, but I'm going 3-2 Congo.
Hmm. Yeah. I I'm going with DR Congo just because I think they're gonna do. I think if there's any time for them to make a point and give them a lot more confidence, another semifinal run, dare I say, another finals run, I think they get it done there. So I'm going with DR Congo as well, but I hope not penalties. I'm just gonna say that I think there should be more goals in this game than just
Christopher said 1-0 and
1-0
penalties.
Algeria
No, I
winning
think
our.
Congo offers more for Morocco, for Algeria to actually come out and play because the
Mm,
physicality is going to cause them all sorts of problems. So I do believe that they are going to exert more offensive creativity to get goals. So I see goals in this game, Africans. It's not going to be
mhm,
a dead, slow game. I know that Algeria in big games they can find ways to try break down the game into slow it down as slow as possible, reset back to the goalkeeper 94 million times in 90 minutes. But I think they have to come forward in order to win this game because I think Congo can score on them. I know Congo can score on them, so they are going to put more offensive pressure in this game.
Agreed, agreed. Except for the good point, 2-1 Congo. Their back five is a good matchup versus the Algerian wings. I think that's a fair bring. They've been very defensive. We get to see Juan Bissaka versus Mares one more time on a big stage, which will be a fun matchup. I think you go with the youth of the legs there. Algier for sure. DR Congo, we got. I watched them play Nigeria. DR Congo is good. Okay, so we're getting a nice mix for those. That's fair. That is more than fair. Algier for sure. We already talked about it.
Okay,
Richard
50
Green.
much. That means it's the actual pick of the round Africans because
Yeah. Oh,
everybody's saying
no one
something else.
denied it. Oh no. Oh, actually, let me tell you about how I think Mozambique is going to go to the semifinals. I'm
What?
joking.
Oh my god! Oh
uh,
god! You Africans, you come back with it. You
listen,
didn't learn. You didn't
I'm
learn.
staying consistent. I'm staying consistent. No, 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 no. But if you look at last matchup, Nigeria versus Mozambique, this is the level of Tanzania versus Morocco. There is no reason, I will say it again, there is no reason that Nigeria should not be playing in the quarterfinals. There is no reason. And I know by saying this what I'm doing, okay? They should win this game 2-0. I'm not going to go overboard and say 4 because whenever we go over 3, JD, you know what happens. It's a struggle 1-0 win where every crossbar is hit. Mozambique beats the goalie 3 times, but it's called offsides 2 and VAR takes away a goal. And then in the dying embers, Osimhen finally puts one in. That's what happens if we predict 3-0. But they should win this game. It should not be a question. And if they don't, I am
Oh god!
taking back my apology and I am putting it up and saying why I was right to doubt them. I don't. There's no reason. There is
I
no
think
reason.
Africans. I think just bet on them. Nigeria will not have any problem until the Algeria Congo game.
Mm,
Whoever win that game, I don't think Nigeria is the favorites anymore. That's a conversation we can have.
I
I
agree.
think both of those teams bring Nigeria to the end, if not beat Nigeria. I think both of
Mhm.
them going in, especially DR Congo. If DR Congo beats Algeria, I think everybody picking DR Congo to be the favorites against Nigeria.
I think
But
that's the matchup. Yeah, yeah.
yes, I for now, I would say that Nigeria wins comfortable. I think you're going to join Morocco with the most comfortable victory. Oh, 3 goals.
Mm.
I'm going to start my stream 2 hours before just to talk it into existence. And even though I
JD,
don't
don't do
believe in
this.
those foolishness, but
JD, don't do this. Don't do this to yourself. Okay, you've done this
I know I
before.
like to set
You
myself up, but I got three
you do.
wins.
Yeah, yeah.
I got
JD,
3 wins.
remember the Alamo. Remember history. Okay, it always ends terribly.
Oh God, you're,
It,
you're you're right. You're right. It always ends bad, But for the last time, I'm gonna bet on Nigeria because the Congo or Algeria game, I'm not betting on Nigeria to win. In normal time, the best they can do is winning penalties.
mm,
You understand me? Because I know that those
yeah.
two teams are equally as good, if not better than Nigeria. Because I saw them played. So
Hmm.
yeah, and now last time Congo dominated Nigeria, so they're not going to come in the next game thinking that Nigeria better than them. For what reason? They have played a million minutes, and the more million minutes, Congo keep on looking better than Nigeria. So I
Mm.
don't know what to tell you. You know,
Not a problem. Not a problem. All right.
I'll 100%, 100%. They put everybody over the next side because there is no way Morocco and the Congo, Algeria, Nigeria should be going into the semifinals. You understand me?
Hey, we could get Algeria versus Morocco in the semis, possibly. We could get DR Congo versus Morocco, which is a rematch of World Cup qualifying 4 years ago. So look, the matchups we have juicy matchups with history coming.
Yeah, well,
You
this is
can't
sad
bet on
because
determined. It's a new year. We're trying to start. We're trying to start with smiles before February beats us down. Come on, let's be well. All right, I start a few comments. Let's go through them before we wrap up here because again, we want extra time. Let's go through this. Lamar Williams has Algeria versus Morocco finals was his prediction. That'll be a semifinal matchup due to the
that
bracket.
can't be a finals,
Yeah, but
Lamar.
but I want to
That's
bring
a
it up.
problem, because Senegal over there, so no a man can hype and act like Senegal is a big team when all they did, they just put them on a different bracket. Sorry, Africans, but
No, no
I had to
problem, no
spaz out,
problem, no
Senegal
problem, no
always
problem.
get the easier way, and then more football will come. Hey, Senegal, biggest thing. Yeah, no, bro.
I'm so
The
happy
root
we've
was just
introduced
favored
everyone
you,
to more people. I'm so happy the network of things to grow because they'll be like, okay, go get them now. Good time still. African nations are sharpening for the World Cup. What is Jamaican national team doing to prepare? Well, it's January 1st. We might as well, throw that out there because it's a fun comment to think about. All right. I don't
To
think
be
people
honest,
really, yeah.
to be honest, Jamaica did not get an opportunity to feature in any one of these tournaments,
Hmm.
So Jamaica can't do much. So I'm not gonna beat Jamaica because they are not preparing. What I could say that a lot
Hmm.
of the ballers them that I assume will be on the Jamaica team, because the thing is about Jamaica and they don't know nothing about Jamaica, because the most
Mm.
obvious thing might be the least obvious to Jamaicans inside Jamaica. That's the only thing I can say. But in a realistic world, I saw all of the forwards, Lottie Bodier and everybody, aside from Leon Bailey. But Leon Bailey have never played good, ever. He's always injured and always that. Everybody is looking decent. So if they
Mm.
should pick their team, I want to say that at least some of these players coming in good form. That's all I'm saying. So they could give it the best shot and beat Caledona first, because I keep saying Congo, and forgot Africans. They actually have a game before Congo.
I
You
hope
understand
they
me?
play well.
And
I
I'm
hope
I'm
they
not
play
this.
well.
Sorry, Caledonian fans. I always forgot that Jamaica has a game to play before. And the man reminded me, African said, JD, why are you taking? Why are you behaving like everybody that they criticize every time, acting like Jamaica will just play Congo? No, that's not the case. We have Caledona first, so let we talk about Caledona first. The farm that we have, it looks good that we we can beat Caledonia. We are going to watch them the game same way, because the game has to play. And Africans warn me, stop believing in Jamaica and Nigeria. He warns me every time. So I'm going to watch the game and hoping that Jamaica wins. And I think Jamaica has the better squad to win the game. And then for Caledonia and for Congo, let's see what we can do. That's all.
Indeed, indeed. So running through a few more things. Da, 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 da. Nigeria always finds a way against North African teams. That's a fair
Oh God.
point. We'll see. Morocco is a World Cup contender. I think of the African sides right now,
Mm.
I think on
Mm.
paper you say Morocco and maybe Senegal on paper right now are your two best chances to go deep, just with the depth that they have on the side. If DR Congo makes it, they are. I've been around on the record. I want to see them on the world stage because I think they match up so well, and it's the unfamiliarity that people are going to have that they don't know what to do with them. And I think that's will be what I am excited to see if they make that World Cup. So let's go from there. That depends on the coaches. For Mane, we talked about that point already. A fair point, though, that Christopher brings up. I will say this: coaches want to win or do it their own way. True, everyone is always married to their system. Not everyone wants to marry their players to their best ways to win. Sometimes they just say, I am a 4-4, like in Canada. Marshall's a 4-4-2 coach, even though the depth of his team screams a 4-3-3 or a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2. He says, I'm a 4-4-2. And if you don't like it, I'm a 4-4-2. And if you like it, I'm a 4-4-2. So I think how you set that up is always going to be very interesting, no doubt. DR Congo is a dark horse this Afcon, the strong team. They were a dark horse the last two teams. They are the side that everyone says maybe they could win it now. Now we have to see them win it before we continue to build off of that. I agree. All right, Sophia. Algeria won the group to play DR Congo. It is a tough life that they live. I do not disagree with that whatsoever. Chris Smith saying DR Congo showed their depth in the last game. Most of their stars were on the bench and they still win. They still performed well. Again, we said now the players are getting that cohesion. And the one fun thing with these teams, now the coaches get to see how they react in these high pressure games. So it's almost like you said earlier. It's a mini test run for the World Cup for some of these African sides to go through. I talked to one friend who said they need a World Cup team to win it because there's no you can't have the champion of Africa not at the World Cup. I don't. I get the reasoning with it, which means you only want 7 teams to win it. In that case, Go Mozambique. But I I think I think it's a fair point, but ultimately teams will teams and play how they do. What have you thought of Brahim Diaz for AFCON so far? He's looked good. I am interested to see, and JD, I'll ask you how he looks with Hakimi now behind him, because the right side is very much attacker proof, right? You have Hakimi who will overlap and put pressure, and then you have Brahim Diaz who will create, who has been probably their most consistent player for Morocco. If that combination clicks well, good luck,
That's the
because
best combination in the entire Africa.
yeah,
Period. And not just the best combination in Africa, maybe in world football too as well. You can look at Diaz is rapidly rising, and Akeem is one of the best right backs in the entire world. So
mm,
yeah, yeah, and Africans, their team is not normal, you know, man. This is madness, you know, man. Jesus Christ. I don't know
indeed
why
it
we're
is,
not
yeah.
talking. It's like we give Nigeria more respect than Morocco.
It is funny. It is honestly very funny. Hey, we'll go there. A couple more, which I did like. Okay, we have Omar found DR Congo is the real definition of big, fast, and strong with technical ability and football IQ. So, football players. So they're football
Yeah,
players.
real life football professional
Yeah,
players. Yeah.
yeah, it's good. It's good. What do you think of the new offsides rule? I believe they'll add it after the New Year's. Is that the one with the challenge or no? Because I know they've debuted the one for the youth tournaments where each coach has a challenge for VAR to look at something, and they just let the game play. If the ref doesn't call it, they can ask for it. If not, they go. I think that is an interesting way to look at it. I would prefer it's not. I refs just make a call. Don't rely on VAR as your backbone and just let things through. I think I get why you do it, but we've lived with human error all this time. I saw one of my friends was talking to me. We've lived with human error the whole time, so let's just live it.
Okay. But
Make
the
a
man have the
call.
system, so why he can't just get the right thing, Africans? He's
If you
afraid.
look, look, I would rather you make a call and then rescind it than not make a call and then have to go and make it. That's
Oh,
my point. Like I need
okay.
the refs, like because someone said a Nigerian friend of mine said, "Oh, the refs has been so good." I'm like, no, because you're winning easy. The second that penalty got called against Tunisia, you were yelling at the refs right after. So don't start with me. The refs have been great, but the problem is just make the call. Make the call, and the VAR says you weren't right. I think that's why you had it. Versus let's wait for everything and then not through.
Yeah, but they have changed. It's remember the world that we're living in now, Africans is ridiculous now. A
Mhm,
man know that he makes a bad call. A lot of people bet on these games. People can find a house in Africans and your
mhm.
kids. And your family. So especially in these countries, in Africa, it's not normal in the blood. So a
Yeah.
man don't want to make the wrong call. I think you don't factor those things in. How much time you heard that people die and stuff. So a man said, "Listen to me, my brother. I just go to the VR, because
Mhm.
this is more personal." But you're right. Don't take the game if you don't want to take the whatever comes with it. Firewall said Nigeria major problem is our coach. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's always Nigeria's coach. Nigeria play the right players in midfield defense. We would beat Congo or Morocco. It's not easy playing against Nigeria. I don't think Nigeria is better than Morocco, even with their best players. I think if the best players play the best on Nigeria team, I think it's 55-45. If both teams playing the best, I don't think Nigeria players are better than Morocco players. Period.
And even if you think they're the best, there's one thing that puts them to me as third for me, the goalie. Right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I can trust Bonu.
Stanley, oh God,
I can trust
oh God.
Mendy. I can't trust Stanley. And so yes, you
I
can
am
talk
going to
about
say this,
the yeah.
Africans. I think Stanley is the worst goalkeeper in Africa. At first, I usually brag, I hype him up, Firewall. I think Stanley is the worst goalkeeper in Africa. There is no. I think he's not well. Let me go as further. I think
Okay.
he's not well. I think he has a disorder, like he has two different brains. No, no, no. What you call the Africans when he has a bipolar disorder? Bipolar. He will come out serious. And Nigeria playing good. And he said, you know what? Nigeria playing too good. Nigeria playing too good. Let me just.
Okay, now I get it
Diaz
now.
kicked the ball in the goal. Nigeria playing too good. Diaz just kicked the ball in the goal. Stanley is the worst. I'm very sorry, but maybe because he lost. I heard that he wasn't taking it well when he lost his parent or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So let me not beat him too bad. But in a footballing sense, man, it has gone bad. Africa very bad. With the guy has a concentration problem, man.
They just need, if Nigeria could find just passable goalie, they'd be. I would trust them more. That's the truth. I would trust them more if they could find
Oh
that.
God,
Okay, okay, now I see what it is. Thank you, Omar, finally for this. The new offside rule that come after World Cup is your total body has to be behind the line. Everything of your body has to be behind the line. I thought that's is that
no,
not
Africans, remember they brought in something and changed the rules. So because you can't score with your hand and all of those foolishness, a man can
then
use his
use his
hand
hand,
to get an
but
advantage.
it's something that
But
you're
that is
yeah okay.
foolishness from day one. That
hmm
shouldn't be the case. What they're saying no should be the case.
hmm yeah, because make it simple, make it very. It's almost a conversation with what is a penalty. I get, and listen, I was one who was saying the one against what's it called? The one against South Africa didn't get against Egypt. Look, by the letter of the law, that's a penalty. In the flow of the game, I understand why it's not called, and I can respect that. But this is an example of listen, you can make this really simple. It touched your hand, you're in the box, point to the spot. It doesn't, it's not, oh, but it touched your hand, you were in the box, point to the spot. And then if you want to look at it from there, fine. Natural position, unnatural position, fine. But that's another example of just be consistent with it. Be consistent with it all the time, and it's easy,
I
and no
mean,
one's gonna be mad. Because if you know it doesn't. Well, I was trying to. Is it your hand? Yes. Was it in the box? Yes. Point to the spot. Question conversation's over. And I think if they were more consistent like that, that's where I'm saying, hey, just make the call. If you're wrong, VAR will come and tell you. But just be confident in what you see versus saying, "Oh,
but
I'll let it
Africans,
play
you
out."
never tried to listen to where I was trying to come from, you know.
Yeah.
Remember, it's Africa just the same in the blood, and
hmm
man spend their last house money, Africans. And security is not the highest, So let the man them you can give them a blight at least. When it goes back to the Premier League, you can go back to that belief, but just give them a little blight, African. I'm begging you. It's dangerous out here, Yes.
So I've been told. So I've been told. All right. VO9 will love this rule. Yes, I'm sure he will. Yeah, he'll his 90 crosses and he'll get his 3 finishes per game. But I'm not mad about it as we go. That is our predictions, guys. If you have been watching AFCON, what are you doing? It's you see it on the screen. January 3rd, Saturday, and then the 4th, and then the 5th, and then the 6th. You have games upon games to watch and enjoy.
And we will be here. So what
hmm
we're gonna do, Africans, you're gonna do immediately after the Nigeria game
I'll go
and the
immediately
Congo
after the
game
Niger game. Yeah,
immediately. All
yeah.
right. So yes, but and then after all the round 60 round of 16 finish, we do a compile. And then
Mhm.
that's what we're gonna do right until the finals, right?
Yes, we'll do that. Yeah.
All right.
So we'll be there.
All
I'll
right.
be there for the recaps and everything. And again, you've seen the channel. We've had a multitude of guests. We'll try to get someone from all the games so we can talk about it there as well as so the
No
panel
problem.
will grow and it'll be fun.
I will
Um,
be loving to be
yes.
here with the Senegalese.
Listen, you guys are not allowed to argue about Dutch players or Belgian players or Italian players. Okay,
Oh
strictly
yes,
Africa.
football, Africans, it's
Strictly
football. We love
Africa.
football. But
Unless you're telling
Africans,
me that Kevin
what
De
what
Bruyne is
madness are you
Burundi's
talking
great.
about? Half of the actual Afghan is actual Dutch Belgian players. So
Listen,
what are you talking about?
listen. Unless we're talking about Burundi's greatest what if, Kevin De Bruyne, I don't want to talk about it.
All right, all right, all right, all right,
But
people.
guys, everyone, thank you for being here, man. Appreciate it. If
Happy
you haven't
holidays,
already,
people. Love, love,
yes,
love, 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 love. All right.
New Year, knew everything. Guys, I won't tell you to go to the gym. It's full. So don't go. It's full at this point. But, do whatever you were going to do. Keep on improving yourself. Keep on learning. Keep on reading all those things. And you'll see us through the year. It's a big year for us. And we'll go through. But if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. Who impressed you? Who disappointed you? And who do you have getting out of the round 16? Thank you for being here, guys. Happy New Year's to everyone. And as always, we'll stop talking right